1 Samuel 4 Philistines take the ark in victory. So the word of Samuel came to all Israel. Now Israel went out to meet the Philistines in battle, and they camped beside Ebenezer, while the Philistines camped in Aphek. Then the Philistines drew up in battle formation to meet Israel. When the battle spread, Israel was defeated by the Philistines, who killed about 4,000 men on the battlefield. When the people came into the camp, the elders of Israel said, "Why has the Lord defeated us today before the Philistines? Let's take the ark of the covenant of the Lord from Shiloh, so that he may come among us and save us from the power of our enemies." So the people sent men to Shiloh, and from there they carried the ark of the covenant of the Lord of armies, who is enthroned above the cherubim, and the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, were there with the ark of the covenant of God. And as the ark of the covenant of the Lord was coming into the camp, all Israel shouted with a great shout, so that the earth resounded. And when the Philistines heard the noise of the shout, they said, "What does the noise of this great shout in the camp of the Hebrews mean?" Then they understood that the ark of the Lord had come into the camp. So the Philistines were afraid, for they said, "God has come into the camp." And they said, "Woe to us! For nothing like this has happened before. Woe to us! Who will save us from the hand of these mighty gods? These are the gods who struck the Egyptians with all kinds of plagues in the wilderness. Take courage and be men, Philistines, or you will become slaves to the Hebrews, as they have been slaves to you. So be men and fight." So the Philistines fought, and Israel was defeated, and every man fled to his tent. And the defeat was very great, for 30,000 foot soldiers of Israel fell. Moreover, the ark of God was taken, and the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, died. Now a man of Benjamin ran from the battle line and came to Shiloh the same day with his clothes torn and dust on his head. When he came, behold, Eli was sitting on his seat by the road keeping watch, because his heart was anxious about the ark of God. And the man came to give a report in the city, and all the city cried out. When Eli heard the noise of the outcry, he said, "What does the noise of this commotion mean?" Then the man came hurriedly and told Eli. Now Eli was 98 years old, and his eyes were fixed, and he could not see. The man said to Eli, "I am the one who came from the battle line. Indeed, I escaped from the battle line today." And he said, "How are things, my son?" Then the one who brought the news replied, "Israel has fled before the Philistines, and there has also been a great defeat among the people. And your two sons, Hophni and Phinehas, are also dead, and the ark of God has been taken." When he mentioned the ark of God, Eli fell off the seat backward beside the gate, and his neck was broken, and he died, for he was old and heavy. And so he judged Israel for 40 years. Now his daughter-in-law, Phinehas' wife, was pregnant and about to give birth, and when she heard the news that the ark of God had been taken and that her father-in-law and her husband had died, she kneeled down and gave birth, because her pains came upon her. And about the time of her death, the women who were standing by her said to her, "Do not be afraid, for you have given birth to a son." But she did not answer or pay attention. And she named the boy Ichabod, saying, "The glory has departed from Israel," because the ark of God had been taken, and because of her father-in-law and her husband. So she said, "The glory has departed from Israel, because the ark of God has been taken." 1 Samuel 5 Capture of the ark provokes God. Now the Philistines took the ark of God and brought it from Ebenezer to Ashdod. Then the Philistines took the ark of God and brought it into the house of Dagon, and placed it beside Dagon. When the Ashdodites got up early the next day, behold, Dagon had fallen on his face to the ground before the ark of the Lord. So they took Dagon and set him back in his place. But when they got up early the next morning, behold, Dagon had fallen on his face to the ground before the ark of the Lord. And the head of Dagon and both palms of his hands were cut off on the threshold, only the torso of Dagon was left. For that reason neither the priests of Dagon nor any who entered Dagon's house step on the threshold of Dagon in Ashdod to this day. Now the hand of the Lord was heavy on the Ashdodites, and he made them feel devastated and struck them with tumors, both Ashdod and its territories. When the men of Ashdod saw that it was so, they said, "The ark of the God of Israel must not remain with us, because his hand is severe on us and on Dagon our God." So they sent word and gathered all the governors of the Philistines to them, and said, "What shall we do with the ark of the God of Israel?" And they said, "Have the ark of the God of Israel brought to Gath." So they took the ark of the God of Israel away. After they had taken it away, the hand of the Lord was against the city, creating a very great panic, and he struck the people of the city, from the young to the old, so that tumors broke out on them. So they sent the ark of God to Ekron. And as the ark of God came to Ekron, the Ekronites cried out, saying, "They have brought the ark of the God of Israel to us, to kill us and our people." Therefore they sent word and gathered all the governors of the Philistines and said, "Send away the ark of the God of Israel, and let it return to its own place, so that it will not kill us and our people." For there was a deadly panic throughout the city. The hand of God was very heavy there. And the people who did not die were struck with tumors, and the outcry of the city went up to heaven. 1 Samuel 6. The ark returned to Israel. Now the ark of the Lord had been in the territory of the Philistines for 7 months. And the Philistines called for the priests and the diviners, saying, "What are we to do with the ark of the Lord? Tell us how we may send it to its place." And they said, "If you are going to send the ark of the God of Israel away, do not send it empty, but you shall certainly return to him a guilt offering. Then you will be healed, and it will be revealed to you why his hand does not leave you." Then they said, "What is to be the guilt offering that we shall return to him?" And they said, 5 gold tumors and 5 gold mice corresponding to the number of the governors of the Philistines, since one plague was on all of you and on your governors. So you shall make likenesses of your tumors and likenesses of your mice that are ruining the land, and you shall give glory to the God of Israel. Perhaps he will lighten his hand from you, your gods, and your land. Why then do you harden your hearts as the Egyptians and Pharaoh hardened their hearts? When he had severely dealt with them, did they not let the people go, and they left? Now then, take and prepare a new cart and 2 milk cows on which there has never been a yoke, and hitch the cows to the cart and take their calves back home, away from them. Then take the ark of the Lord and place it on the cart, and put the articles of gold which you return to him as a guilt offering in a saddlebag by its side. Then send it away that it may go. But watch, if it goes up by the way of its own territory to Beth-Shemesh, then he has done this great evil to us. But if not, then we will know that it was not his hand that struck us. It happened to us by chance. Then the men did so. They took 2 milk cows and hitched them to the cart and shut in their calves at home. And they put the ark of the Lord on the cart and the saddlebag with the gold mice and the likenesses of their tumors. Now the cows went straight in the direction of Beth-Shemesh. They went on the same road, bellowing as they went, and did not turn off to the right or to the left. And the governors of the Philistines followed them to the border of Beth-Shemesh. Now the people of Beth-Shemesh were gathering in their wheat harvest in the valley, and they raised their eyes and saw the ark, and rejoiced at seeing it. And the cart came into the field of Joshua the Beth-Shemite, and stopped there where there was a large stone, and they split the wood of the cart, and offered the cows as a burnt offering to the Lord. And the Levites took down the ark of the Lord, and the saddlebag that was with it, in which were the articles of gold, and put them on the large stone. And the men of Beth-Shemesh offered burnt offerings and sacrificed sacrifices that day to the Lord. When the 5 governors of the Philistines saw it, they returned to Ekron that day. Now these are the gold tumors which the Philistines returned as a guilt offering to the Lord, 1 for Ashdod, 1 for Gaza, 1 for Ashkelon, 1 for Gath, and 1 for Ekron, and the gold mice, corresponding to the number of all the cities of the Philistines belonging to the 5 governors, both of fortified cities and of country villages. The large stone on which they placed the ark of the Lord is a witness to this day in the field of Joshua the Beth-Shemite. Now he fatally struck some of the men of Beth-Shemesh, because they had looked into the ark of the Lord. He struck 50,070 men among the people, and the people mourned because the Lord had struck the people with a great slaughter. And the men of Beth-Shemesh said, "Who is able to stand before the Lord, this holy God? And to whom will he go up from us?" So they sent messengers to the inhabitants of Kiriath-Jearim, saying, "The Philistines have brought back the ark of the Lord. Come down and take it up to yourselves." 1 Samuel 7. Israel saved from the Philistines. And the men of Kiriath-Jearim came and took the ark of the Lord and brought it into the house of Abinadab on the hill, and they consecrated his son Eleazar to watch over the ark of the Lord. From the day that the ark remained at Kiriath-Jearim, the time was long, for it was 20 years, and all the house of Israel mourned after the Lord. Then Samuel spoke to all the house of Israel, saying, "If you are returning to the Lord with all your heart, then remove the foreign gods and the Ashtaroth from among you, and direct your hearts to the Lord and serve him alone, and he will save you from the hand of the Philistines." So the sons of Israel removed the Baals and the Ashtaroth, and served the Lord alone. Then Samuel said, "Gather all Israel to Mizpah, and I will pray to the Lord for you." So they gathered to Mizpah, and drew water, and poured it out before the Lord, and fasted on that day, and said there, "We have sinned against the Lord." And Samuel judged the sons of Israel at Mizpah. Now when the Philistines heard that the sons of Israel had gathered at Mizpah, the governors of the Philistines went up against Israel. And when the sons of Israel heard about it, they were afraid of the Philistines. So the sons of Israel said to Samuel, "Do not stop crying out to the Lord our God for us, that he will save us from the hand of the Philistines." Samuel took a nursing lamb and offered it as a whole burnt offering to the Lord. And Samuel cried out to the Lord for Israel, and the Lord answered him. Now Samuel was offering up the burnt offering, and the Philistines advanced to battle Israel. But the Lord thundered with a great thunder on that day against the Philistines and confused them, so that they were struck down before Israel. And the men of Israel came out of Mizpah and pursued the Philistines, and killed them as far as below Bethkar. Then Samuel took a stone and placed it between Mizpah and Shin, and named it Ebenezer, saying, "So far the Lord has helped us." So the Philistines were subdued, and they did not come any more within the border of Israel. And the hand of the Lord was against the Philistines all the days of Samuel. The cities which the Philistines had taken from Israel were restored to Israel, from Ekron even to Gath, and Israel recovered their territory from the hand of the Philistines. So there was peace between Israel and the Amorites. Samuel's ministry. Now Samuel judged Israel all the days of his life. And he used to go annually on a circuit to Bethel, Gilgal, and Mizpah, and he judged Israel in all these places. Then he would make his return to Ramah, because his house was there, and there he also judged Israel, and there he built an altar to the Lord.